Phillies fans, we may have a problem. Obviously, we got eliminated from the NLCS yesterday after really just a choke job, to say the least. Now, me personally, as a Phillies fan, I'm not a very negative person. It was a choke job, but I'm going to try to be as optimistic as I can, at the same time as being as pessimistic as I can. Today, we're going to be going over the Phillies. We're going to recap their season a little bit. We're going to look ahead to next year, and I'm going to give you one reason to be optimistic and one reason to be pessimistic for this Phillies team. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Let's get right into the video. But first, I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a ticketing app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. They have a 0 to 10 score to let you know if you're getting a good deal. There's little bubbles on every seat. The green and the bigger the bubble, the better the ticket. If it's red and it's a big bubble, it's a bad ticket. Don't buy it. NFL is going on. Hockey started. Basketball has started. If you want to go to the World Series, you can get $20 off your first order on SeatGeek with code Sentry17 is just the username. Again, that's code Sentry17 on SeatGeek. Use the link in the description to download the app, and thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. All right, so we're here. I've got Spot Track for this year pulled up. I've got Spot Track for next year pulled up, and I have Fangraphs pulled up, which hopefully these ads don't keep popping up today. So let's start here on Fangraphs. Obviously, this team went 90-72. They made the postseason as the #1 wild card team. Bryson Stott led the team in WAR. He was very good this year, both at the plate and defensively at the plate. Kind of a slap hitter, but he's what the Phillies really needed. Change of pace. For the pitching side, Zach Wheeler had another sensational year, especially in wins above replacement, despite having an ERA at 3.61, which is not bad, but it's a little higher than we'd expect. Nola did not have a great year, but his strikeouts still brought him up to a 3.9. Taijuan Walker had a 2.5, so pretty mediocre for the rest of the pitching, if you're asking me. Matt Strahm, who spent majority of the year in the bullpen, came out with 2 WAR. Very good season from him. So if you want to ask me about great pickups this offseason, Strahm would be one of them. He was in the 5 starter at the beginning of the year, and then for the rest of the year, he was put in the bullpen after Ranger Suarez got back and healthy, and really, this team never looked back. Bad pickups, Taijuan Walker did not end up being great. He was kind of a guy, he let 4 runs very early, and then before you know it, he was into the 7th inning, and he was still giving you a chance to win the ball. Confusing pitcher. I'm actually interested to see if they try to deal him away this offseason. I'd be surprised, because he's a great clubhouse guy. You could tell by the way that he was cheering on his teammates from the dugout, even though he wasn't getting a chance to play, which I don't know if he should have, but maybe. Very weird pitcher, to say the least, to watch. After a full season of Trey Turner and reflecting back on him, he actually was second on the team in WAR by the end of the year, which is kind of crazy, 3.8. Had a horrid start to the year. Got really, really warm after August 4th to the end of the year. Like, very good. Like, MVP good. Playoffs came around, and he was very, very good until the CS. And there's a lot of recency bias going on. People are saying, after a year of Trey Turner, it doesn't look like a $330 million player. That's simply not true, because he did for the latter part of the season and for the majority of the playoffs. People are saying, oh, he didn't come up in clutch moments. Yes, he did, just earlier in the playoffs. You're just having recency bias. I guess since we're there now, we can talk a little bit about the NLCS. So to me, this is a story of this. Yes, they choked it away. It is a mix of Rob Thompson being too loyal to his players, which I appreciate. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. To Craig Kimbrell specific, a guy who throughout his career has not been good in the playoffs. Alec Boehm, you know what? Topper kind of had the last laugh a little bit in that, not much, but a little bit. Boehm ended up being just probably the best hitter on the team in the last game. Give him a chance to win. But it also has to do with them just being extremely unlucky in the fact that 2 bats in probably the most 2 important positions in this Phillies lineup, at least for not supplemental pieces, but not the main pieces. Like the 2 in the 7 hole are crucial. They both went ice cold at the same exact time. Trey Turner and Nick Castellanos, who were, by the way, fantastic the rest of the postseason. It's like, I don't get the thing where people are like, this team stinks, what are we doing? They were great. And then they just had a baseball moment happen to them where the offense got cold. You can't expect to score 8 runs a game for 20 games straight. Not going to happen. I'm sorry. And yes, even 5 would have been great. This pitching staff gave them a chance to win. This pitching staff is World Series caliber. They were great. The offense couldn't get it done. Simple as that. That's it. Enough talking about that game because I couldn't fall asleep. Literally, I didn't fall asleep last night trying to think about it. I should say trying not to think about it. So if you want to look at key free agents coming up, Aaron Nola, probably the biggest one, and then the second biggest one, Rhys Hoskins. Now, if you want to take a look at them, Aaron Nola made $16 million this year. Rhys Hoskins made $12 million in arbitration this year. Final year of ARB, he is as well a free agent. If you ask me, it is sort of imperative that this team gets Nola back. While we've been there for both the ups and the downs of Aaron Nola, you take the ups because his upside is just tremendous. Unless you plan on going out and getting Japanese pitcher Yamamoto. I think he's coming over. I forget. There's a big Japanese pitcher, coming over from Japan, or a Blake Snell or something like that. You're signing Aaron Nola. There's literally no debate. He wants to be here as well. Now, the one I am torn on is Rhys Hoskins. Rhys Hoskins is my favorite player. He is the guy who got me back into baseball back in 2017. Where does he fit on this roster next year? I'm trying to figure it out. Bohm is going to be playing third base. There's no debate. Trey Turner is obviously the shortstop. Bryson Stott is at second. Rhys Hoskins obviously plays first base. Now, you have to decide yourself. Do you believe in the bat of Johan Rojas? Or do you believe in giving guys an ungodly amount of rest and bring back Rhys Hoskins to be the bench bat DH first base rotator? I don't know if he wants to do that, man. Maybe to get settled back in, maybe he takes a 1-year deal and does so. Maybe a little platoon thing, something like that. Seems like a little to do for a guy who's probably going to be getting paid $12 million or so. I think no matter where he signs, he gets anywhere between a 1 and a 2-year deal just because of his injury, but it is really a confusing one. If they're bringing back Rhys, the way I would do it is, as I said, round the horn, you go Alec Boehm at third, Turner, Stott in the infield. Right field, you have Castellanos, you got Romuto behind the plate, Dunzo. So the left field, center field, first base thing is where you're going to have to come into it. They have to decide if they want to play Bryce Harper in the outfield again. If they do, Bryce probably goes to left field where he has to make less long throws. Center field is where you're probably playing Brandon Marsh. In that case, Rhys Hoskins would play first base. His defense is atrocious there. You'd rather him be a DH. But you have Schwarber, whose defense is also atrocious in the outfield. So it comes down to you have to choose between what order you want this in. If you give Bryce Harper a day in first base, you put Schwarber in left field, you have Rhys Hoskins DH. You kind of have to rotate it that way. You're then in turn taking playing time away from Johan Rojas, defensive stud. Maybe he's their late game replacement guy, bench bat. Maybe. They've got a decision to make on that. And if I'm the Phillies, I'm re-signing him. He's a great clubhouse guy. They missed him. It's obvious they missed him, man. Especially at the beginning of the year where this offense struggled to get anything going. They missed him. Difficult decision. I think that they should make the right one. So overall, looking at total money already allocated, we got about $224 million, $225 million. It looks like almost there. Got a lot of guys making a lot of money. Kingery, this will be off the books. Kingery, who signed that big contract that they signed him to because they thought they were being sneaky. No, it did not work out. There's a club option. They will decline it. Without a question. He hasn't played in the big leagues in 2 years plus. Other than that, everyone else is here to stay. Bullpen is pretty much entirely here to stay, man. It's a tough decision. It's a critical decision. It's a tough offseason ahead of the Phillies. And they also have to decide if they're going to keep believing in guys like Andrew Bellotti, Connor Brogdon, or are they going to try to trade him away for other supplemental pieces? You got choices to make. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like as well as subscribe. Remember to use code Sentry17 on SeatGeek to get $20 off your first order. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys tune in for the World Series live streams starting probably Saturday. Won't be there for Friday. Have a good day.